Hello, friends. All right. Ooh, excuse me. Yes, it's back. Finally. That old format was so whack. Okay, give me 1 second. I got some new glasses, and they've got this weird coating on them. So it sometimes makes everything a little bit fuzzy. But we are up here. Let's go to Instagram. Hello. All right. Yes. Hey, friends. As you come in on Facebook, please say hi so I can greet you properly. Because Facebook doesn't let me know who you are till you say something. Get my water ready in case my throat gets parched. Hey, MJ. How you doing, doll? All right. Hey, Margaret. Yay. Hey. Okay. So, I think we've got everything set up. Oh, no. I forgot the audio recording device. Yes. Got to make sure our podcast people are taken care of, too. This is why I like our little cocktail hour that we do at the beginning. Gives me a chance to get everything right. All right. Okay, so we're getting started at 8:05. So that's about 3-4 minutes from now. We've got 2 stories tonight, so we should have some room for Q&A at the end. So if you guys have any questions, hey, Rocks Tattoos, if you guys have any questions, jot them down for the end of the show if they pertain to your own personal business. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. We've got a story for my country fans, my blues fans. We've got a story for car enthusiasts. It's going to be an interesting evening. Okay, it's 8:02. We've got 3 minutes till showtime. Oh my gosh, guys. So, I don't know if I told you guys about my never-ending journey to get an inflatable pool. I've ordered one way back at the end of May. Still, it hadn't come. I had to call Amazon and, have them refund my money because the vendor was playing with my money and wouldn't give it back. So I went out today to try and find an inflatable pool. I went to 3 different stores. Nothing. I even checked online first to see if they had it in stock. It said they had it. Nothing. So I guess I'm just going to be sunbathing in the backyard this summer. That's cool, though. Things could be so much worse. It's 8:03. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yes. How y'all doing? How's your Thursday going? Y'all got any fun plans for the weekend? My fun plans, I'm going for a nature walk. Yeah, I'm going to go for a nature walk on Sunday. All right. It's 8:04. We're getting started in 1 minute. Oh, I forgot to say hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Joey. Y'all go check out Of the Season Spices, my sister's custom spice company. She's doing awesome things. She just came out with like a vegan chicken bouillon. I ordered the curry spice mix. It's on its way. I just got my notification today. So go check out Of the Season Spices. All right? All right. So we are getting started in less than a minute. Choo, 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 choo. Eh, 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 eh. I wish I could play music during the cocktail hour or our little, pre-show, but these copyrights be hating. That's all right though. We don't need that. We have fun ourselves. All right, so it's 8:05. Let's get started, guys. Somebody just came in on Facebook. Please say hi so I know who you are so I can say hi properly. All right, let me hit the record button and then we'll get going. All right, welcome. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday through Thursday live broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time watching the show, if you don't know who I am, I'm Natalie Pierre-Lewis. I'm the host of the show, and I'm the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So if you need help with things like getting registered with the state, making sure you have appropriate contracts, hiring employees properly, basic brand protection strategies, operating agreements, EIN numbers, DUNS numbers. I help you do all of those things. If you're wondering how I help you do all of those things or why I'm capable, I'm a licensed attorney. I have been one for 14 years and counting. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I'm very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be successful in business, there are just some concepts you need to know. There's no way around it. So that's why I'm here, okay? If you would like to get in contact with me so that we can get, your business foundation on solid ground, go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. The linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm, linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. There you're going to be able to download my free Biz Launch cheat sheet that will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. You will also be able to book a free 15-minute consultation if you are a first-time client. And as well, there are an array of digital products dealing with different aspects of business formation. Like we have our how to be a boss 101, the business startup basics course. It takes you through, all of the steps of what it takes to make your business legitimate. So go check out linktree.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. There's cool stuff over there. Hi, G-Ratch. Okay. All right. Now, I've told you about what I do. Let's talk about the show. The way that the show works is I pull stories from the news, stories that you guys have sent to me. And actually, the first story we're covering tonight, Atalia sent it to me earlier today. And I pull stories that I feel like have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and we discuss them. Hey, essentially true. So, this is a discussion. This is the time for you to, drop your questions, drop your comments. Don't be shy. We're all friends here, as long as we're respectful, okay? This is a time to learn, but it's also a place where we have fun and we interact. I learn from y'all just like you learn from me. So don't be afraid to join the conversation, all right? So we are going to get started. So like I said, the first story tonight was actually sent to me by one of you, Atalia Young. I don't know if she's going to pop in later, but was anybody here when we did the story about the country group Lady Antebellum? If you were here when we did the story about the country group Lady Antebellum, give me an A in the comments. And for those of you who were not here, I'm going to tell you what happened. So there's a country group called Lady Antebellum, and with all of the protests and the Black Lives Matter movement that's happening and the push for reform, they felt that their name was no longer appropriate. The name Antebellum refers to the South prior to slavery being abolished. They say that they didn't realize the history behind the word antebellum. I don't know how you didn't, because you're a group from Nashville. Anyway, they said, well, we don't want to be Lady Antebellum anymore. We're going to change our group name to Lady A. The only problem is there is an artist who has been, I forgot to write down her name, but she is a blues artist. She is a Black woman. I believe her name is Anita, and she has been performing under the name Lady A for decades. decades, right? So Lady Antebellum, they said that they were going to try and work it out with Lady A to see what they could do. So they tried to, I guess, broker a deal where they could both use the name. They wanted to buy some of the rights from her, and she wanted $10 million. They said, no, ma'am, and now they are suing Lady A. They have gone to court because they want the judge to declare that there is no infringement between Lady Antebellum's use of Lady A and Anita's use of Lady A. Now, keep in mind, Lady Antebellum does have a registered trademark for Lady A. They've had it since 2011. They've just never used it. Meanwhile, Lady A has been consistently using this name for decades. Hayla Reed has been consistently using this name for decades, right? So Lady Antebellum, they want the court to say that there can be two Lady A's in the music space. I guess one in the country space and one in the blues space. So the court has not given their decision yet. They have just filed this lawsuit with the court. But I want to know from you guys as an audience, what do you think about this lawsuit? What do you think about there being two artists by the name of Lady A in the music industry? Do you think that could cause some confusion? Now remember, Lady A, the blues artist, she's been using Lady A consistently for decades. She does not have a legal trademark, but she has decades of use, albums released, all that stuff. Lady Antebellum, they've had a registered trademark for Lady A since 2011, so about 9 years. But up until now, they haven't done anything. Essentially True said that's confusing. Okay, I think it's confusing too. I remember, what was it in college? When was Making the Band with Diddy, when they had the band with like the hip hop group? I forget what year that was. I want to say I was in college at the time, but I remember Margaret Massey said confusion too. But I remember at that time, one of the guys in the group, his name on the show was Chopper, right? But then at the time, there was another rapper out whose name was Chopper. So after the season aired and everything, this artist, he was coming out, but he had changed his name. He couldn't be Chopper anymore. So I understand why you guys say that could be confusing. Do you think that it makes a difference if one artist does blues and one artist does country? Do you think that creates less confusion? What do you think? Because I feel like country and blues they have some similarities that the audience that listens to those types of music might overlap. G-Raj said no difference. Hey, Deasi Solivera Jose. Yeah, so I agree with you guys that this is confusing, but what do you think? Who do you think should win here? Because Lady A, she's been using the name for decades, but she doesn't have a registered copyright. Lady Antebellum has had, a registered trademark. Lady Antebellum has had this trademark since 2011, but they haven't used it. So who do you think should have the rights to the name Lady A as a name for a musical performance group or musical performer? Who do you think has more rights to the name Lady A? The person who's been using it for decades but no legal trademark, or the group that has a legal trademark but hasn't done anything with it for 9 years? What do you guys think? Essentially True said Lady A should win. Those white ladies knew the meaning of their name. Actually, the group is, I want to say, 2 women and 2 men. It's a mixed group, but they call themselves Lady Antebellum. G-Ratch said they need to keep Lady Antebellum. They knew it was racist. Lareed said Lady A, who has been using the name for decades. Margaret Massey said, I think they will rule for the one that's trademarked. I think Lady A could show she's been using. Yeah, I think this is a tough one. This is a tough one, right? Hi, Stroka D. Because Lady A, yeah, she's been using this name for decades, but she never did the process of getting the official trademark. And we know that the court likes it when you have your paperwork in order. Now, in the meantime, remember, we have a use it or lose it rule when it comes to trademarks, right? If you have a trademark and you don't use it within 10 years, it can be considered abandoned. Now, it's only 9 years in, but, there's kind of that tiering line. So does that change anything for you guys? Right? Because a lot of you are saying, Lady A should win. I get, and on principle, I believe she should win. I really do. She's been using the name for decades. But again, if we are going by the law says you need to have your registered trademark. Hi, Shonda. Now, if she can show that she has acquired, hey, Atalia, we're covering the Lady A story. Hey, Sincere. Now, if she can show that, she has garnered significant support. So I checked out her Twitter today. She has about 14,000 followers. If she can show that this is her, this is her marker, that this is what people know her as, that she has, created significant clout in the music industry, that she should keep this, she has a good chance of winning, especially if you've been using this name for decades. My only issue is that she doesn't have the legal trademark, right? So we'll have to wait to see what happens between Lady Antebellum and Lady A. But just as a final poll, those who think that the country group from Nashville will win, give me a 1. Those who think the blues singer Anita will win, give me a 2. If you think the Nashville group that wants to change their name to Lady A will win, give me a 1. If you think Anita's going to be able to keep her name and keep Lady Antebellum away from it, give me a 2. We just want to do a final count before we move on to our next story, okay? And Atalia, I want to thank you for sending that story because I hadn't seen it anywhere. Lareed thinks that Lady Antebellum is going to win. She thinks that the country group is going to win. Okay. Any other predictions? Hey. Margaret thinks that the country group is going to win. Shonda thinks that Lady A is going to win. Shonda thinks Anita's going to win. So we've got 2 for the country group and we've got 1 for the blues lady. Any more votes? Because we got to move on to the next story. Okay. All right. So I guess that's all the votes we have. 2 for the country group and 1 for the blues lady. I myself am rooting for Anita, so I hope that she is able to, protect that name. But moving on to our next story. Do we have any Atalia thinks that Lady Antebellum is going to win too. So we've got 3 for the country group and 1 for Shonda. All right. Moving on to our next story. Do we have any car enthusiasts here? If you're into cars, please give me a car emoji. If you're into cars, give me a car emoji, okay? While you do that, so a few years ago, I went to Dubai with my sister, and we went to the mall, and they have a Ferrari amusement park in one of their malls. Now, I didn't go in there, but this story that we're going to talk about has to do with Ferraris. Yeah, and I think it's pretty interesting. So, nobody here is into cars. I'm not into cars either. It's all right. I feel like if the car is driving, and it don't give me no problems, that's all I need. I'm not, into all the bells and whistles. Anyway, if you have heard of a Ferrari, give me an F in the comments. Give me an F in the comments if you have heard of Ferrari, okay? And this story is the reason why I entitled, Margaret said exactly. This story is the reason why I entitled this episode, Use It or Lose It. Shonda knows what a Ferrari is. Sincere knows what a Ferrari is. Lareed knows what a Ferrari is. Margaret knows what a Ferrari is. All right, so we know what a Ferrari is. It's a high-end Italian car, right? Now, we know trademarks are worldwide, right? Every country, every continent has their trademark rules. But one of the rules that is universal is if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it, all right? So here's the problem. Ferrari has a classic model of their car called the 250 GTO. Okay, thank you for the F, Italia. The Ferrari 250 GTO. Now, when this car was originally built, the car cost about $18,000. This is probably like in the early 60s, late 50s. Most recently, a version of this 250 GTO car went up for auction at $70 million. Talk about a come up. 18,000 to 70 million, right? Okay. Now, this particular model of Ferrari has a trademark on the design, on the shape, right? The problem is Ferrari hasn't produced, sounds right, sincere? Okay. Ferrari has not produced this model since 1964. So they had the original models that came out, the ones that were selling for $18,000. Those are still around. They're being auctioned around. There's a limited supply in the world. But Ferrari has not gone on to make more 250 GTOs, okay? Now, here is the problem. Another car designer called Aries Design, they said that they wanted to reinterpret the 250 GTO, the Ferrari 250 GTO. So they said, oh, you know what? We think that Ferrari 250 GTO is really cute. I'm going to try and see if I could do something kind of like it over here. And Ferrari said, skirt, excuse me, what are you doing? And they filed a trademark infringement suit against Aries for trying to produce the Ferrari 250 GTO. What do you think happened? Now, I told you guys, Ferrari, while there are some 250 GTOs around the world, Ferrari has not produced this car since 1964. So what do you think happened when Ferrari went to the court, this is the Italian court, and said, hey, someone's trying to reproduce our trademarked design, the one we haven't used since 1964. What do you think happened? I'm going to give y'all a minute because we talk about this all the time, and I know that you're smart. No, they did not win Sincere 39. The court actually basically said, Ferrari, you have not used this design since 1964. You haven't produced any new cars. You made some in the 50s and the 60s, and that was it. So you have let your design trademark die. So now Aries Design can go and reinterpret the Ferrari 250 GTO and make their own version. Margaret Massey said they lost the trademark expired. Yes, very good, very good. When you have a trademark, you need to use it. Now, I don't know the yes, Larry, the court didn't rule in their favor. I don't know what the time limit is for the Italian court. They made newer versions since 39, but were they the 250 GTO? It had to be the 250 GTO. They didn't want newer versions, they want that version. Because they trademarked that particular design, right? Okay. So when you have a trademark, you are supposed to use it. If you don't use it, you can lose it. Now in the United States, Sincere 39 said the Italian courts must like Lamborghini better. Look, I don't know nothing about no cars and no Italian courts, but I thought that this was a very great example of how you can lose it if you don't use it. In the they no longer make those models. In the United States, when you have a trademark, you have 10 years. If you don't use that trademark in 10 years, you can lose it. It can be considered abandoned. That's why you need to use your trademarks. The government does not want you to trademark something just to sit on it. And that is the same thing all over the world. Now, I don't know what the time frame was for Italy, but I mean, if you haven't produced this car since the 60s, that's almost what? That's 24. That's like 40. That's almost 60 years that you haven't used this. Hello, 38 Records. Hello, Nicole's Dream. That's That's almost 50 years that you have been letting this design, this trademark design sit there. Sincere 39 said, but it's Ferrari. Who doesn't know Ferrari? Well, the thing is, Aries Design didn't say they were replicating. They said they were reinterpreting. They said, we're going to take this original design and we're going to pimp it. We're going to do Pimp My Ride to the Ferrari. Okay. Sincere 39 said, no one wants to knock off Ferrari. No one wants to knock off Ferrari, but there are people who are car enthusiasts who like to build cars, right? So maybe you can't build the 250 GTO, but you want to build your own version of a 250 GTO, right? And they haven't produced this car since the 60s, so why not? So what do you think about that? Do you think that this was the right decision by the court? Should they have sided with Ferrari, or were they right in siding with Aries Design? Does it matter that Ferrari doesn't make this car anymore, since there are still some in existence? What do you guys think about this decision? What do you guys think about this decision? I think it was the right decision. Larry thinks it was right too. All right, we right on time together, girl. You went through the trouble of protecting this design, which for all intents and purposes that should mean that you're going to make more of it, but you haven't. You've been letting it sit. Yes, maybe the original ones they're selling, but they're no longer in your possession. Ferrari made newer versions of the GTO. Okay, they made newer versions of the GTO, but they didn't make that 250 GTO, right? Okay. Margaret Massey said the courts were right. Okay, so I think we're all kind of on the side of the courts. Ferrari was, they were kind of resting on their reputation and thought that they could just not make the car and keep going. So, like I said, intellectual property does not care who you are. Doesn't matter how big you are, how famous, how much money you got, how many cars you got. Intellectual property it trumps a lot of things. So don't think that you can escape because you're too little or you're too big. When it comes to intellectual property, governments do not play. Since 39 said they're on the 488 now for the GTO. Oh, okay, so they are way past the 250. But yes, so you will, if you any of you who are into cars, check out Aries Design and their reinterpreted 250 GTO. I personally don't have no skin in this game because I don't really care about cars like that. I've been driving the same car for like 10 years and I don't feel like changing it. But for those of you who are car enthusiasts, I think this is a very interesting story for you. Especially if you like to repair or build cars. Sincere 39 said he's siding with Ferrari on this one. Okay, Sincere, why are you siding with Ferrari? Why are you siding with Ferrari? I would like to know. Because they have not produced this car since the 60s, right? So why do you think that Ferrari should be able to keep this design to themselves and not allow anybody else to kind of, do their thing with it? Because I like to hear opposing views. Yes. Sincere 39 is going to let us know why it's Ferrari. Why was Ferrari robbed by the Italian courts, right? Okay. And while Sincere 39 does that, I want you guys to get your questions ready because we're going to have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure that if you guys have any questions for me before the weekend comes, that you have a chance to get them in. You can actually start dropping them in the comments now. So any questions about business formation, so EIN numbers, registering with the state, contracts, basic brand protection strategies, hiring employees, all those foundational things, like questions about bank accounts, things like that. Now's your time to drop them in the comments so I can answer them. Sincere 39. Okay, Sincere 39 said that car is a classic. It is still Ferrari intellectual property. That is over 50 years ago. Everything has been updated since then. But that's the whole thing. It's like it's over 50 years ago and you haven't produced that particular thing. Your trademark is not the trademark is not for a newer version. The trademark is not for the 488. It's not for the 350. It's for the 250. So if you're no longer producing the 250, you're no longer, participating in that trademarked design. That's my interpretation of it. But I understand that it is a classic, and for car enthusiasts, that might be enough, but it's not enough in the world of intellectual property. Okay? All right. But thank you so much for that, Sincere 39. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to drop your questions in because we've got about 5 minutes before we end. I will not be on tomorrow because it's Friday, and y'all know I like my Fridays. We will be back on Monday with more stories. I know I haven't been as active on social media the last couple weeks. Look, I have been tired and life has been busy. I'm trying to, get that ramped back up for y'all. And what else is going on? I mean, nothing really, because we all still, or we're at least supposed to still be in quarantine. If I have any news, I will definitely share it with you guys. Well, at least business-wise news, because y'all don't need to know about my personal life. I'm just kidding. I like y'all. But this is where I'm going to leave you, because I think you guys, you've got a handle on things. I know it's Thursday. Y'all want to go to Club Quarantine or something with DJ D Nice, or if you're going out to the real place, even though I hope that you're staying home. But have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Eat well, drink lots of water, wash your hands, wear your masks, don't go to crowded places. Oh, you missed the end about my pool? Girl, I went to 3 different places to find this inflatable pool and they didn't have it. I had to get my money back from Amazon because the vendor was a scammer. So I took that money and tried to go buy one in person. They didn't have any. But that's okay. I can sunbathe in my backyard, and that's enough. I'll just spritz some water on my skin. All right, so have a great weekend, guys. Bye.